What it do, people? It's your man Animal Brown. Welcome to another episode of With That Being Said, the only hip-hop show where you get points for takes. I've got two of my best homies in here. I got Bougie Brother Sean, and I've got Spike Lou. You know how we get down, 5 topics. Each round, somebody wins, somebody loses. Whoever's got the highest score at the end gets the W. It's that simple. Let's kick things off. Currency, the hospital, he just dropped one project every month for the entire year. That had me thinking, guys, who is the most consistent rapper we know? Sean, I'll start with you.
Ooh, so I'm actually going to have to go with one of the greats, man. I mean, I don't think there's nobody beating Snoop Dogg right now, man. You know, lyrically, he might not be the best, but as far as content, body of works, you know, West Coast rappers, man, E40 is consistent. He's been consistent for over 25 years, you know.
Too short?
You know, yeah, too short. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of the West Coast rappers, man, I kind of admire, man, because their hustle is completely different from out here. So most consistent would definitely go to most West Coast rappers.
All right, Lou, you banging that new Too Short?
I am, because I'm a fan of Too Short. But those, I wouldn't consider that consistent. That whole coast fell off for maybe 10 years after NWA. What I would say, if we're going to go old school that way, I would say Jay-Z. Jay-Z's been the most consistent and successful rapper that we've had ever. I don't even think that's arguable. But if we were to go new school, I would say Drake. Easy. Aubrey, every time he comes out, whether you like it or not, you can hate him or love him, but you're going to be singing his song 2 weeks from that date. And that's just consistency at its finest, whether it's the Kiki dance or whether you're doing the controller dance or people are stealing his songs or some type of beef. It's Drake. Drake is always somewhere doing something that you have to repeat whether you like it or not.
All right, now is Drake, would you consider him on that scale of consistency, or would you pick another A-lister to kind of put in his spot, Sean?
Well, I don't think you can ever fight Drake getting knocked out of his number one spot, man. He's kind of the LeBron of hip-hop right now. You know, you can hate him all you want, but the numbers tell it, you know. And, you know, check out my scoring, but also look at my assists. You know what I'm saying? Like, to your point, he's the feature king. He's been the feature king since he came in the game. He was the hook man when he first came in, and everybody hated him. Now he's transcended from the hook game, and now he's just doing features, you know. And all the features are good, man. He's just improving. He's consistent, and he's giving you quality, new, different sounds. So, yeah, man, great. I can't say nothing bad about Drake.
He's giving me the point, too.
Yeah, I got to give Lou the point. Anytime somebody brings up Drake, and they're in the lead, that's really the cheat code with me. The Sixth God has been killing it since his mixtape blew him up. So, hey, I can't argue with that. Sean, I refuse to believe you listen to that new E40 or Snoop Dogg or Too Short.
Oh, come on, man.
You're checking out those?
The Gab is nice.
I knew Too Short bang.
I didn't check out the new Too Short, but I did check out the Church. Snoop Dogg.
The gospel album?
Yeah, the gospel
That's
album.
the best gospel album of all time.
It was a decent album.
Easily.
Definitely
the best gospel album I ever heard.
Too bad I can't take away points.
I've only heard 2 gospel albums in my life.
There's no such thing as the best gospel album
That's
ever,
it.
period.
Snoop's.
Interesting. All right. You'll get a point taken away next game. Don't worry about it. All right, man. Next topic. All right. Lupe Fiasco, fighting retirement rumors. He finally dropped his Drogas Waves album. Highly anticipated. Maybe. My question for you, Lou, how will we look back at Lupe Fiasco's career?
When he's finally done rapping, we will thank him. So Lupe is one of those people you are wondering why he's still sticking around, why he's still putting out albums, when he told us he was going to retire a long time ago because he had beef with his label. Then retire. We don't need to hear anything else from Lupe. There's nothing else that he could do to let us understand how good of a rapper he is. We get it. It's just not that interesting to me.
Sean, are you still interested in new Lupe Fiasco?
I think every time Lupe Fiasco comes out with something, it surprises you and lets you know how great of a rapper he is. And he says he retires, but after he listens to his shit, he's like, God damn, I can't retire, man. This shit is just too fucking fire. No, the last 2 of his 3 albums since 2015 has dropped, and he's made 2 out of 3 masterpieces. Youth and Testo. His 3 albums was Tessio.
Tetsu and Youth.
That was a definitely a top-notch album. And then his past album, Drug His Waves, you know, when you pop that in, man, that is a listen all the way through. So, you know, and this is quality underground hip-hop, I would say.
Okay.
You know, if you're into quality hip-hop, old Slum Village, Jay Dilla maybe, you know, that's kind of the range and lane that's in. But, you know, a lot of people don't appreciate that no more.
Lou, has Lupe underachieved?
Yes, maybe I didn't know he was an underground artist. Maybe I was expecting too much of him. But Lupe is definitely one of those guys who you always, like I say, look up, and he's got great bars and the music will be okay sometimes, but it's just a lot to digest on a consistent basis, which is why I feel like he gets lost in translation a lot.
Okay, I gotta give this point to Sean. That Tattoo and Youth album was fire. My favorite song on there was Chopper. Lupe probably had the verse of the year on that album, so gotta get a point.
Did no one hurt?
It's tied up 1-1. We're going into round 3, and now T.I. announced earlier this year that his album, The Dime Trap, will be his last. Then you've got other rappers that came out around T.I. early 2000s, mid 2000s, like Jeezy, Jim Jones. They've all kind of lost steam in their own way, not so much as popular as they used to be, but still putting out music on a smaller scale. Sean, are we looking at the downfall of that early 2000, mid 2000 rapper?
Whatever happened to Crunk Juice? Whatever happened to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys? Like, Crunk Juice was a classic album. You thought that Lil Jon and East Side Boys would last at least an additional 5 years. They disappeared with Soulja Boy. Right after Soulja Boy, it was like no more. You know, so you know the snaps, the snap music, and Young Jeezy. I feel like even though Young Jeezy always said, "I'm not a rapper, I'm a businessman. I'm not a rapper, this and that." You sure go in that studio and you make music that sounds like rap music. So if you make rap music and you talk rap music and you write rap music, guess what? You're a rapper. And unfortunately, yeah, those times are dwindling down. There's a whole new wave of music, you know, thanks to Kid Cudi, you know, thanks to Kanye West with the 808s, you know, and it really swept a lot of the early 2000 rappers under the rug.
All right, Lou, is it time for Jeezy, Jim Jones, T.I., likes of those cats to hang it up?
Nope, they just need to scale it down some. We were shown this year with 444, last year rather, that older rappers are successful, though everybody may not be able to do it on Jay-Z's scale. When you get somebody like Jeezy, who's gonna have a core fan base that are gonna come out every time that he drops, or even a Jim Jones who can put good projects together. He's made some great albums throughout his career. I think that you can do it on a smaller scale. You don't have to come out with a big single. You're not trying to sell 1 million records. You don't have to do what the young kids are doing in order to stay popular and put up Instagram posts. But you do have to make good music. And I feel like that's where Jeezy kind of got lost. He was trying to do the whole Church of the Streets thing, and Jim Jones was trying to do the whole Vampire Life. They were getting away from what made them popular in the first place, talking to the people that liked them. If it was Jeezy, it was the Hustlers. If it was Jim Jones, it was the Capos. So as long as they stay in that lane, then they can continue to make music on a small scale. They can't do it big, but something small.
It's a new wave of music here. I don't think that there's not many older rappers that can transcend. Jay-Z was lucky enough to drop a lyrical album like 444, but the beats were just as bland as KOD's beats.
The reason that Jay-Z was able to transcend, and the reason that T.I. will be able to, Jeezy will be able to, even a Jim Jones, is they are above average rappers. Crunk Juice, Lil Jon, he couldn't rap. That's why he's not around. So if they have talent, they're gonna be around. Earlier you spoke of E40, Gift of Gab. E40 is an above average rapper as well. Too Short's on the line. I mean, he's been able to shuck it out for a lot of years, but point being, I feel like if they're able to put good albums together, make good music, have some consistency of bars, they'll be able to get through it, but not Lil Jon.
Yeah, I got to give Sean this point, but barely. He almost blew it with the Lil Jon reference. However, the change in the tide was the late 2000s when Kanye, when Kid Cudi, when Drake came with the sing-songy, moody music, and they were more in tune with who they were and weren't super thugs, weren't super trappers. That's when the tide started to change and the style in rap changed, and Jeezy and T.I. and the aforementioned other rappers could keep up.
Yo Gotti.
Yeah, so that's why they're a little bit on the tail end of their career. I got to get that one to Sean, man. He's up 2-1. Now, round 4. Let's take it back earlier in the year. One of the biggest beefs in recent memory was Pusha T and Drake. All right, some people said that Pusha T went a little too far with his shots about Drake's pops, Drake's mom, etc. Lou, my question is, are there any rules in rap beef?
As long as you're willing to get hit in your mouth, you can say whatever you like. And I feel like as long as people know that, then they'll be able to get by with it. If Drake was gonna put out their response that was so-called somewhere on the internet and in the intranets floating around that was gonna disrespect Kanye West and disrespect Pusha T on a level as to where they would get pissed off, then, I mean, if you're willing to get hit in your mouth, then all's fair in love and war and hip-hop.
All right, Sean?
I didn't hear Biggie cry at one time when Pac was like, "That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker." And that lets you know the times that we're in. That lets you know that, that someone could say summer and wife in the same sentence and you punch a hole in the wall. Like, that sounds like somebody needs some type of counseling or some therapy going on over there for something as minute as that. So for me, I believe that, yes, this era isn't working when it comes to beef raps. Like, even with the Eminem beef, he is upset that people don't like his album. And that's what the beef is about? Like, so...
Washed. He's upset because he's washed.
Yeah, he's definitely on the wash side of this board right here. So, it's just... So, for me, yeah, I think there's no such thing as beef rap no more. It's just... How can I poke you to make you quit? Because I hurt your feelings,
So, where does the Pusha T record fall in the hierarchy of beef records? Is it up there toward the top with the classics like Hit 'Em Up? Or is it somewhere kind of middle of the road like, say, a Super Ugly?
Now, are we talking about Infrared or are we talking about Life of Adonis?
We're going to do the Adonis.
So, I thought that was nasty. I thought that was disrespectful. I thought he was better than that. I thought he was a better type rapper. I didn't think he had to go that low. I thought he was more clever than that. He hangs with 2 Chainz. He fuck with Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Let's make this a lyrical sport first before you start goddamn hitting below the belt like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like, I felt like he could have slid a couple of them in and we could have had one more round. Then he could have been like, "Oh, okay, well, you remember you talked about my wife in the first one, so I had to get you." But it got too emotional too early for me.
Lou, is Story of added on the top 10 rap diss?
It is not a top 10 rap diss, but it is an upper echelon rap diss. I feel like that he went for the jugular at the correct time. You can't play with Aubrey. Meek Mill sees what happened when you play with somebody like Drake, so you gotta go for the blow when you get it, and he had the opportunity and he did it. I don't think Drake is one of those artists that you can go back and forth with, and that's where you get the below the belt action on the story of Adenon or Adenon, whatever the name of it is. But that's where you get him going that low and reaching those depths as far as disrespect, and I don't see anything wrong with it. Drake play unfair all the time. I mean, you get hit with your own medicine sometime.
I got to get that one to Lou. He kicked it off from the right words. As long as you're willing to get hit in the jaw, then you can say whatever you want. That's how the rules have to apply. You can ask Smoke Perp. He wasn't willing to get hit in the jaw with the stuff that he said online about Russ, and you saw what happened. So as long as you're willing to take the L, then go for it. Now, final round, round 5. Now, we're hearing a new term in rap. I heard Charlamagne say on the Breakfast Club that Jay-Z was contemporary rap. Now, Sean, is contemporary rap a real thing, or should we stop trying to make genres out of hip-hop?
I think genres is important. I think genres is important if we're going to create our own award show. That's the only reason I think it would be important. Other than that, everything is rap, or everything is, you got your rap, you got your hip-hop. That's how I was raised. That's how I see it. Your hip hop is your content, your stories. Your rap is the shit that I'm playing in the club, pretty much. So, contemporary rap, if we're talking about award shows, If not, what the fuck is that?
Lou, contemporary rap, are you here for it?
I would have the same question on what is that, but it was a good point about the award show. I feel like if we're going to make that step and not have to go to the Grammys or want the BET Awards to be on the same level, having different categories like contemporary rap, trap rap, it gives us a lot of variety. It gives us a lot of different selections that we're able to make when we go to Apple Music, when we go to Spotify Tidal. Well, we don't have to say, well, I'm only listening to gangster rap and they're classifying all as gangster rap. You can pick your mood, you can pick your artist, and you can pretty much be in that lane all day depending upon how you feel. And I think that's a good thing, where you don't have to go over the popular music, you don't have to go over the country, you don't have to go over to old school, what is it called, soft rock. You can get all of those feelings from hip hop now because people are able to be so free with what they want to say with their songs and how they feel and how they structure it.
Okay.
They definitely seem to box hip hop into this one category also. So, you know, it's expanding the hip hop genre to, I would say, more categories. I'm not sure about contemporary, like I said, but, you know, to more categories, yes, trap rap, yes, dance rap, you know, like, you know, Drake rap, because Drake is a artist of his own.
It's popular music.
Popular rap, there you go. Pop rap. So
there you go.
But
but do you think genres are needed to help classify certain artists like a Post Malone or like a Lil Peep that kind of toe the line between different genres that include hip hop? That could be misleading if you're on Apple Music.
I think that they should let everybody know that they're not hip hop. Of course they won't, because they're gonna make more money if they're looked at as a hip hop artist. But someone like Post Malone, who doesn't even know the history of hip hop, and it's not because he's one of these young cats who wasn't around for that. It's just because he doesn't care. He wasn't raised on that. But he can put a couple tattoos on his face, and people can say, "Oh, he's a hip hop artist." He's not.
It's just so disrespectful to classify artists like that, Lil Peep, like that, you know, as hip hop or as rappers. You know, well, you can classify them as rappers, but they're not in no category for hip hop. They shouldn't even be in a nominee as a hip hop artist. So, you know, that's just really disrespectful, and we know how they do when it comes to our shit anyways. So
Nelly had a country music album. I've never heard of him referred to as a country artist.
Yeah, well, hey, I gotta get that one to Lou. Anytime you can throw in some Post Malone slander, I'm here for it. So listen, that was the game, 3-2. Spike Lou, you took this one. You have the floor. Get it off your chest.
Shout out to all the content creators out there, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this show. We definitely appreciate it. And I have 2 of these shirts. That's the reason why it's on here twice.
There it is, man. With that being said, Animal Brown for Bougie Brother Sean and Spike Lou, we out.